Hello again. Thanks for joining me on this last video of our series, Feelings and Faith. I hope these videos have been helpful and encouraging as we look at the difference between our emotions and feelings, which can be misleading, and God's promises, which are always true and always stand firm in every situation. Today I want to talk about one last emotion that Satan really has used for centuries and centuries, and very successfully so, and that's discouragement. You know, before these videos, you already knew that this world can wreak havoc on our emotions. And you might think to yourself, I'm used to some of this doesn't bother me anymore. But everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a point where they can only take so much and they just lose it. They just get so discouraged. They just don't understand anymore. They don't know why or how or for what reason things are happening this way. Now that point may be different for everybody, but maybe you've reached that point. That point where you just become so discouraged about so many things. Maybe it's the fear of catching the COVID-19 that has been enough for you. Maybe it's someone you love getting sick recently that's been enough to tip the scales. Maybe you're out of work for a while. And on top of that, maybe you're having to juggle finances and children at home and losing sleep. And maybe that's the tipping point. Maybe the list could go on. And it's hard because as if our problems weren't difficult enough before, it seems lately that they've just been heaped up and snowballing. And you know what's really sick about this whole thing? While we get down and discouraged, Satan is smiling. You know, Satan's goal is always to get you to lose heart. His goal is always to get you to lose faith so that he can get in there, grab a hold, and get you to doubt everything God has ever told you. If you can get discouraged enough, Satan thinks to himself, maybe I can get them to just turn away and look to anything else besides their God. Not only causing us to lose hope now, but lose hope for our eternity as well. But Paul points to a solution. You know, Paul's a man who was very familiar with suffering and discouragement in his life. And yet, while he had reason to be discouraged so often, this is what Paul writes in 2 Corinthians. He writes this in chapter 4. He says, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." You see, the world may be full of trouble, but it's not about the world. We live in the here and now, but our lives as Christians are not about just the here and the now. Paul kept his eye on the prize to come, the good he knows to hold true amidst our strife here. Paul's focus was always on the good, the coming glory that we have in Jesus Christ. He says that glory far outweighs whatever you go through here. You know, when you get there, you're going to realize as you stand in that glory that these troubles here are only going to be a part of a blink of an eye. They're going to be like a little needle prick. They won't matter because your glorious state in Jesus Christ is going to be so great. So keep your eyes fixed on what is to come, what may seem hidden now. Because while you seem to suffer now, Jesus didn't die for you in vain. He has not promised to be with you always in vain. He's not promised in vain to give you peace in himself. You don't have to be discouraged because you have everything that you can't find here in this world. What happens in this world is temporary. Look at the things that you have going for you instead, Paul says. your eternal glory, and your Savior. I pray that you always seek the Lord when your emotions seem to be running your life because they're misleading. Satan tries to use them to his advantage every day, but God's promises are never misleading. And Satan cannot overcome God's promises. Because of your Savior, nothing in this world can harm you and your eternal prize. And so fix your eyes always on Jesus and the glory He has for you. Not just to get you through today, not just to get you through tomorrow, but so that you can get through the rest of this life and into the next, where you'll stand before Him in everlasting glory. Thanks for listening. God bless.